Hi peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. It is Monday and you know what that means. It is time for us to go fishing for some a-holes. That's right, it's that weekly segment where we take a look at the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Because it's a little bit of juicy drama. Because it means that we can hopefully help a couple people out and expand our own mindsets along the way. My cat is sitting really cute in a box just behind me. If you hear the rustling, that's why. Are we ready to dive deep into some a-holes? I believe we are. Am I the arsehole for having no TV at dinner? I'm a 32-year-old woman and I live out of state and I flew home for my mum's birthday to surprise her. Okay, so we're talking America, states are very big. I'm having to remind myself that's basically like flying to another country. Shaaba and geography do not go well together. I think I understand, let's move. She was away on a holiday with a friend and she was arriving home on her birthday, so I arranged to take a day off, come home a day early to organise cooking dinner and her cake. My dad goes off to the airport, they both come home and I surprise her with the dinner, cake and a present. My dad's done nothing for her birthday. No present, nothing. What are you doing, Dad? When Mum arrives, she's happy that I'm there to surprise her. We sit down, we have dinner, we have wine, and we hear about her trip away. She even has gifts for us from her holiday. That's cute. I love that. On her birthday, she's giving you guys gifts. That's such a mum thing to do. As we're still catching up and having wine, my dad stands up, turns off the dinner jazz playing through the TV, and puts the game on. Anxiety runs through me. I'd tell him this isn't acceptable, to turn it off and to come back to the table. He sulks and says, no one cares about what I want, it's all about you. This is your dad, right? Who is like very probably at least in his 50s. Come on, Dad. We continue to sit and chat before dessert, which is the cake, and a few minutes later, he leaves the table and does it again, removing himself to sit at the couch and put the game on full volume. Do you know what it is? It's not the going to the telly that bugs me. Honestly, I'm like, you know what? You're an adult. If you don't want to do that for your wife, I'm here to have a good time with my mum, and if you don't want to be a part of that, like, that's fine. Go and do your own thing. I have my own views on that, but I'm not going to force you to come. Clearly you've gone and done that twice. But to put the volume on full and to turn off the ambience of my music, that's where I find it really rude, dude. You don't do that. You put on headphones and you listen to something, you go out the room, you do your thing without it impeding on other people. This angered me. I can see why, babe. I began swearing and asking him how he can treat his wife like this on her birthday, how he'd done absolutely nothing for her special day, and how he'd never watched TV during a celebration with his extended family. He argued back, saying that he picked her up from the airport, which was about 15 minutes away, and that was enough, and that no one cares about me or what I want, it's always your way. That's the second time that he said that. Interesting. My mum's so downtrodden at this point in the marriage that she even begins to agree with him, saying that he did do something, he picked me up from the airport. Ooh, am I the arsehole? Should I have compromised and accepted him watching the game during a dinner that I arranged and flew home for? Do you know, up until the point where you got really angry, and I'm not saying that you're the arsehole for getting angry, but at that point it felt really clear cut to me. I was like, yes, the dad is the a-hole, OP is not the a-hole. However, I do think that OP did something fundamentally tricky here, and honestly it's something that very fiery, like younger Shaaba would have done. So many times have I seen one loved one be objectively hurt by another loved one, and I can be so angry at that hurting loved one on behalf of the hurt loved one. My point is, by you sharing and expressing that anger towards the hurting loved one, you're actually putting the hurt loved one in a very difficult place, because they have to sit there and shut up and listen to it. Maybe they don't have to shut up, but it puts them in an awkward position where they too are then going to face the anger from the hurt loved one, and also like, oh no, because of me, you guys are now arguing. I'm not saying that you're wrong to feel the way that you feel. I too would be very angry with Dad. Would I have brought up that anger during that dinner, which is probably at least partly the reason why Mum then felt the need to defend Dad in this situation, because this is her birthday dinner and she doesn't want to see her two loved ones, especially when you come all this way, arguing. Have your say, but maybe have it like quietly somewhere else, out of earshot of Mum, because at the end of the day, like, what are you gonna do? Make Dad come back, and Dad's then gonna be super sulky and upset, and that's still not gonna provide a nice environment for Mum. We have to let informed people who are doing things that aren't hurting anybody, including themselves, just let them do what they want to do. If it doesn't fit with what we want to do, it sucks sometimes, but it is the way it is. We are autonomous human beings. For that reason, I'm gonna say, oh no, this is probably controversial. I'm gonna do two badges, okay? Not the arsehole, because ultimately you are not the arsehole. You've done such a lovely thing. However, tiny everybody sucks here. Reason being, you also have now made this really uncomfortable for your mum. Expressing that in the way that you have, like, the anger seems to mostly be just saying it, pointing it out here during a dinner that I arranged and flew home for. It seems to be more because you made all of the effort. You're sort of more angry that your dad wasn't there because of how much you did, not because of how important this was for your mum. She seemed okay with it. You can be angry, fine, but like, it's your mum's day. I wouldn't overshadow that with an argument. I have done exactly what OP has done here in certain situations. And if someone said what I just said to teenage fiery Shaaba, I'd be like, what the F are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. And you know what? In one sense, I totally agree. And you are very right to feel that way. At the same time, seeing the whole situation for what it is, I'm just being really honest with my views. And I can see that how OP reacted definitely also made that more uncomfortable for the mum than it needed to be. Sometimes you need to question if you're doing things for other people or if you're doing them for yourself. And even if you are doing them for yourself, it's okay. Just recognize, like, who you're doing it for. Everybody sucks here, says someone. I thought I was going to be alone with that. Hear me out. Your dad is the arsehole for obvious reasons. The part for me makes you the arsehole is that you caused a huge stink during your mum's birthday. Do not. Not to mention telling him what he can and can't do in his own house. He doesn't sound like a great dude, but OP's mum is still married to him, so it feels like OP is way overstepping boundaries. Family dynamics can be so difficult. I guess in one family setting that would be really overstepping, but in another family setting that would be totally normal. It's really hard to tell without the greater context. Someone else here says, nah, your own house or not, if an immediate family member is behaving like an inconsiderate butthole towards another family member, they deserve to be called out, and therefore says not the S. There you go. All right. What do you think, my loves? Let me know by getting your little peachy butts downstairs in the comment section. Just be kind. All right, let's go fishing once more. Am I the asshole for swearing at my mom? This just reminded me, last week I was like having dinner with my family and I saw my sisters around the table and everybody was swearing. And I was like, well, I remember when I was changing your nappies, and it was in that moment that I realised I was very old. My mum is of the belief that everything that happens in my life and my sister's life is her business. You have a helicopter mum. That was a terrible helicopter noise. Nosy is about as nice a word as I can describe it. I'm 26. Oh, interesting. I wasn't expecting a 26-year-old. I was expecting much younger. I'm 26. I've been married for a year to my wife, also 26. We dated for 2 years, engaged for 1, just surpassed 1 year anniversary, and I've never been happier. Congratulations, my love. That sounds wonderful. All my mum can see and talk about is, Camille's really put on weight. From when you two first started dating. Get off it, mum. I tried brushing it off, telling her that we have it handled, no worries. That is not the right response, OP. We were so close. OP should be saying, Mum, it's none of your business. Why are you putting negative connotations on the fact that Camille's put on weight? Mum, why do you need to bring attention to somebody's physical appearance when there's so much more to a person and you're clearly just doing this because of goddamn beauty standards that we don't need to try and succumb to? As my wife has continued to put on weight, the calls, texts, getting pulled aside at family things starts to get more frequent. How does Camille put up with this? Why has no boundary been set to be like, Mum, shut the f*** up. It is not your place. Stay in your lane. Stop being toxic. I told her straight up, don't worry about it. See, there's one of two things happening here. Either OP is mistranslating it to us and OP is actually saying, Mum, shut up. That's not right. And in this post is like, I'm saying don't worry about it, but that encompasses that. Or OP really is just being like, don't worry about it. In which case I can see why that's not a harsh enough boundary to help your mum unlearn bad societal ideals and to also get your mum to just stop being toxic. My mum, who was a nurse at one point but stopped back in the 90s, says, well, I'm a nurse, so my daughter-in-law's obesity is my concern card. Well, I hate to break it to you, Mum, but knowledge around weight and health has tremendously improved, and a lot of what we've learnt in the 90s is a bunch of that we've realised we shouldn't be spreading, including things like the BMI, though, you know, our GPs still have a while to catch up with that information. Last weekend we were hanging out. My folks, myself, my sister and Camille. My mum goes, anyone want to go on a run tomorrow? Camille passes. And Mum goes, don't do it, Mum. I don't even want to read what Mum says right now. Mum goes, I really think you should go. It would be good for you. My blood would be boiling. Camille obviously figured out what my mum was getting at and asked her if she thought she was fat. My mum dodged the question and said that she thinks going on a run could set a good trend for Camille. Camille storms outside and goes and sits in our car. I shouted at my mum, thank you, OP, that she was a moron for starting that argument. My mum said that she was trying to be helpful and told me to stop yelling. I have a question for mum here. If after multiple attempts of saying things like that, you're not changing someone's behaviour because fundamentally it's not your place, why do you feel like it's helpful to point something something out that somebody already knows and is clearly not wanting to do anything about. I told her that she could help us by not worrying about Camille's weight. Am I the asshole? No, my love, you are not the asshole. I feel like I deserve to give you the brownie badge. It's been a little while since we've had our little brownie badge. Good points to you for standing up for somebody else in this situation in a way that isn't necessarily overstepping. You allowed Camille to fight her battles, and you also said words to your mum. Were they the strongest words? Were they as informative as they could have been? Maybe not, and perhaps this is a great learning moment. Sometimes when you have an understanding of something and someone else has a different understanding of something, although it might seem really clear to you, it's a good idea to explain why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, or why you're setting the boundary that you're setting. Instead of being like, oh, mum, shut up, stop saying things like that. Maybe saying things like, mum, that really hurts. Could you imagine your negative tone and connotation doesn't fit in 2023 and isn't correct, because actually weight and health does not have the relationship in real life that your mind thinks that it does. And in a world where we should be promoting body positivity and autonomy and allowing people to do things that their bodies naturally need to do, maybe we should just leave them be. Here are some fantastic resources. Go and take a look at these Insta pages and live your best life without having to worry about the amount of calories that are in the occasional donut. Thanks, Mom. That's a much nicer way of saying things. And these little explanations can go a very long way to helping people understand where you're coming from. Wow, when I read the title of your post, I thought maybe you're 13, but no, you're 26 and married. Your mum can keep her opinions to herself, or she can see a lot less of you and your wife, and you can make that happen. Not the asshole. I do agree with this, and at the end of the day, the mum's just gonna end up pushing you both away. You know, if Camille doesn't want to be in that environment, and then you end up feeling really awkward between your mum and your wife, it's just not a good place to be. Not the asshole. Your mum sure is, though. Really don't know why she thought that could possibly go over well. Let's go for a run. You need it. Could you imagine? I could not understand why somebody would feel the brassness to do that. The sense of entitlement to feel like you can do that. No. Not the asshole. Your mum's been rude as and your anger is justified. Good on you for stepping up and defending your wife. I do agree, though I again say that I feel like those boundaries could have been much stronger in their enforcement, which would have avoided a lot of this mess. Or it could not have done, but would have made you a better partner, and with more healthy communication to be able to say more than just don't worry about it, but actually like, this is not something that you are entitled to speak on. Let my wife live her life and be the size that she wants to be. Oh, here you go. Someone's given a solution. What you should have said was, Mum, I don't want to hear comments about Camille's body, my body, or anybody's body. I am not going to have this discussion with you. Drop the subject or I will leave. That is wonderful boundary setting. And mean it. Walk out the room, hang up the phone. She can't engage with you or Camille if you are not there. And pretty soon, babe, she will get the message. If you, lovely peach watching this video, are dealing with someone who is saying things to you that you do not deserve to hear, then let this be a reminder to you that you don't need to put yourself in a position to hear them. You can leave if it is safe and you have the privilege enough in terms of resources to do so. I mean temporarily by, leaving something. Or more long term, if that is something that, again, you are safe and have privilege to do. Not being exposed is an option. Well, that was a juicy one. I feel like that was a pretty spicy on our chiliometer. Alright, let us do one more to round off today. Am I the asshole for not wanting to wear the bridesmaid dress that has been chosen for my brother's wedding? Interesting. I love a little bit of wedding am I the asshole. Normally because the people involved in the wedding are so unhinged, but let's see. My brother's getting married at the end of the year and we're very close. I get along very well with his partner and accepted to be their bridesmaid when asked. However, when it came to talking about the dresses, I was worried as I'm a much bigger girl than her and all of her other bridesmaids. For context, I'm about a size 20 to 22, whereas the others are size 12 or smaller. I'm okay with my body, although I am trying to lose some weight. However, due to my size, I always try to dress in ways that flatter my shape and stay clear of anything that's tight. Do you know what? That's totally fair. Everybody wants clothes to fit in a specific way, and everybody wants clothes that in their mind fit the cut that they feel best and most sexy and most confident in. Don't feel like you have to justify that just because of your size. You're entitled to do that regardless of your size. When I was asked to be a bridesmaid, I mentioned that I really wanted a dress that wasn't super tight so I didn't feel uncomfortable all day, and to not be happy at my brother's special day. Well, she ordered a dress that all of the other bridesmaids tried on and liked. However, the biggest size that it came in was an 18. I offered to try it on and to be accommodating, however, even though I could get it on, it was super unflattering and it was way too tight in the bust area. She then found a similar dress that came in a bigger size, however, it was a slightly different colour. I think it's really rude, to be honest. If you are inviting people to be bridesmaids to your wedding, you need to accommodate the people that you are asking to be part of your wedding. Could you imagine if you invited someone into your bridal party, groom's party, whatever, who was a wheelchair user, and you're like, well, everyone else can use stairs, so get a wiggle on. It's just not okay. What on earth makes you feel like it's okay to choose a dress that literally doesn't come in a size that is made for the body of one of your bridesmaids? Where is the brain cell? I am grateful, however, that she tried to get another dress. Let's see how that goes. I tried it on, but mentioned that being up there with all the other bridesmaids in slightly different dress might not look the best. I said I prefer if she looked at other dresses and maybe some that were a bit more loose and came in all sizes so I could have the same as everyone. However, the other bridesmaids all wanted something more fitting to their bodies. I also said that if she liked the dress that all the other bridesmaids liked, then I'm happy for her to choose that one and I would step back as being a bridesmaid. That way I can choose a lovely guest dress and just me being at their big day is enough for me. She said she really wanted me to be a bridesmaid, but is struggling to find a dress for everyone and is upset that I offered to not be a bridesmaid. Am I the asshole for just not accepting the dress that the others liked? And should I just suck up having to wear a dress that shows all my rolls off? This is really interesting. So normally when this happens, they're like, well, you have to wear it. And you're like, well, no, I don't want to wear that dress. And if you don't want that, that's fine. I just won't be a bridesmaid. And that's it. The difference in this situation is the bride has tried. They've found you another dress. Is OP wrong for rejecting a very reasonable other solution? Do you see what I mean? If someone's now given a dress that's in a slightly different colour, but it does fit you, maybe this is one that you also feel shows all your rolls off. No, you are not the asshole for, number one, not wanting to wear the size 18 dress because it clearly doesn't fit you. It shouldn't have even been offered to you to be a dress that is in the wrong size, especially when you said beforehand that it's something that you don't feel comfortable with. And I also don't think you are the asshole because you've specifically asked for offering to not be a bridesmaid. At the end of the day, nobody can force you to do something that you don't want to do. People can't force you to be a bridesmaid. People can't force you to wear something you're not comfortable with. And you, in this instance, seem to have very kindly explained your situation, been like, look, you guys can do what you want to do if that's what you feel comfortable with. I don't want to be a problem, and so I'm not going to take part in that aspect of it. If you would rather not have me, fine. How can you be mad at someone for suggesting that? What I'm finding really confusing is why bride and other bridesmaids are not being like, okay, cool, we'll just find a kind of dress that comes in lots of different colours or different shades. Every single bridesmaid's dress option that I have seen always comes in multiple options. There are so many different colours. Like there's specific cuts that come in plenty of different colours. It's actually really trendy and fashionable now to have, like, for example, green but slightly different shades of green, or all the same colour and different kind of styles. Like, it's okay. Also, it's just a dress. I personally don't quite understand like this need to clone everyone and have them look exactly the same. I appreciate it's cute to have like a unifying feature. What did I do for bridesmaids dresses? I feel like everybody had a slightly different thing. Yeah, they were all the same colour, but all tweaked differently. Like, I knew one of my sisters wasn't a big fan of having her arms out, and so we got one that had sleeves. But I know somebody else really liked them armless, and so we got her one which was the exact same material, like from the same range kind of thing, but one that didn't have sleeves. Just find dresses that fit everybody. If someone's not comfortable with something, why would you want your loved one to be there parading and supporting you in something that they're not comfortable with? However, I do think it's interesting that in this post it's very different to the normal scenario like this, because the bride has offered you something else, and it is something that is the right size but a slightly different colour, and you're like, no, I don't like that. There's always three sides to every story, right? Yours, theirs, and the actual truth, which normally lies somewhere in the middle. It might be in the situation that the bride has already bought the other dresses, and so, finding new dresses for other bridesmaids isn't really within their budget, or they don't have the time or the mental capacity to now look for lots of different dresses that were in multiple different ways, in which case finding one dress that works for you is really sweet. I could also see in a very different scenario where a bridesmaid could then be like, well, you know what, I actually don't like the colour of this dress, so like find new things for everyone else, and in which case that wouldn't be okay. I'm trying to think about how different that really is to this situation, because it is the colour that you are now concerned about, but it's because you are being othered in some way, and I understand why you might not want to be othered in that way just because of your size. What I'm saying is I'm struggling to find an overall principal point, but I do not think you are the arsehole for all of the reasons I've just waffled on about. What do you think, people? features. Do you agree with me? Let me know your thoughts. This is an interesting one. I'm definitely going to have a chat with Jamie about this too. Funnily enough, I'm going to be a bridesmaid really soon. I'm very excited about it. Not the asshole. It's not that hard to find bridesmaids dresses that come in plus sizes, especially a size 20 to 22. The inconsideration comes in considering dresses that wouldn't fit you. I totally agree with that point, especially the latter. That is not okay. And it's not even like a cost thing. There are so many places that do dresses on all kinds of budgets where you can have size diversity. Someone else says, no arseholes here. If I understand correctly, the dress that she wants doesn't even fit you. Either way, having to wear something that makes you physically uncomfortable is different from not wanting to wear a dress because you think it's ugly or tacky, as most bridesmaid dresses are. Insert photo of Shaaba and her bridesmaid dress. No, I'm kidding. I actually love the dress I'm going to wear. Anyway, it was generous of you to offer stepping down, though I can understand her frustration wanting you to be involved too, and I hope you can jointly find a solution. That's very cute, and I too hope that, I mean, the wedding may have happened by now, but I really hope that you find a solution as well, and that you are happy and can be involved in the way that you want to, and that she wants you to. Not the asshole. Offering not to be a bridesmaid gives her a choice in how she deals with the situation. You were being very thoughtful, and I agree. You weren't demanding to be like, no, I do not wish to be a bridesmaid anymore because I'm throwing a hissy fit and I don't like the dress options that you've picked. Humph. Anyway, my loves, I think that's a good point to leave it on today. Let me know your thoughts downstairs in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you next time with another video. Be kind and have a great day. Bye.